tonight it's going to be another cook with me. So I'm getting ready to make my pizza soup over here in my Instant Pot. I'm going to get that going first, and then I'll start on some more Thanksgiving meal prep. And of course the dog is over there drinking water. Dogs like to do that when we're filming, don't they? But so let me turn this around and I'll show you what I got behind me. So in my pizza soup, which is tonight, I'm gonna start here in my Instant Pot. I'm just gonna put it on saute, and I'm gonna brown up all this Italian sausage, and then I'll add the onions and bell peppers and the garlic. And I'm gonna put the camera down so that I can open this up, get it in here, and get it going. I've got my Italian sausage browning up here in my Instant Pot, and I'm just going to keep breaking that up. It's almost all the way broken up small enough to where I need it. When I get done browning that up, I'm going to add my garlic and my onions and peppers and let that saute up, and then add my, it's supposed to be beef broth, but I don't have any beef broth, so I have 4 little bitty bouillon cubes in here with some hot water to get them dissolved. So it's a little over a cup. That's okay. So I got that dissolving, but I'll bring you back when I get more going on in my Instant Pot. I've added in probably about a teaspoon, I don't know, maybe a little more than that, of the garlic, the chopped garlic, and then probably maybe half a cup of the chopped vegetables, the onions and peppers and everything. So I'm just going to let these saute up for probably about 5 minutes, and then keep adding stuff. I did add in, I don't know, a teaspoon, maybe a little more, of both the basil and the oregano, and everything is sauteed up. So what I'm going to do now is add one of my 2 cans of tomato sauce. This is a no salt added tomato sauce. So I'm just going to add all that in. And then I'm just adding in my beef broth water and beef bouillon cubes is all that is. So I'm just going to add all that in. Stir that around real good. And let me see here. Oops. Let's get that all stirred around. Okay, that's stirred around, and I'm going to put the lid on here, seal it, and let's see, cancel this, and I want to do manual time, and I'm going to do this for let it pressure cook for 10 minutes, and then when that gets done, I'll do a quick release and add my next few ingredients. Well, this is actually still coming to pressure, but while this is going in the Instant Pot, I've got some pepperoni, and I just chopped it up. So when this gets done, this is going for 10 minutes. When this gets done, I'll do a quick release, add in my pepperoni, and put it in for 5 more minutes. And then when that gets done, I'll then add in a second can. I'm adding 2 cans of the tomato sauce, and I'm using the no salt added because that bouillon that I used has got enough salt in it, and that Italian sausage has also got salt in it, so I don't need the salt in here. So I do like to try to get no salt added cans of whatever food products whenever I can get them. So that's what I'm using tonight in this pizza soup. So yeah, this gets added in a little while, and I'll show you that when it's almost up to pressure now. But when that gets done, I'll add this in and I'll bring you back. While the Instant Pot is taking care of tonight's dinner, I thought I'd start on my first pan of cornbread. So this is for cornbread dressing. This is the regular, not keto. This is the regular cornbread dressing that my Nana used to make, and I've got my Nana's iron skillet here. So basically this is what I follow. And of course I'm just going to get out all my ingredients, but the only thing, okay, sugar does not go in my cornbread. I know some people believe in sugar, but to me, if you add sugar to cornbread, it becomes cake. So sugar doesn't go in my cornbread. So I'm gonna get some vegetable oil out, and I'm gonna get the oven heated up and get my measuring cups, and I'll be right back. I'm just going to take my little whisk and beat up these eggs first. I like to break, I've always used 2 eggs in my cornbread. So I'm just going to beat these up first. And then, okay, no measurements. This is all eyeballing. So let me pour this in. This is vegetable oil. And a little more. Okay. That might be 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. So I'm going to beat that in. And I know I'm going to need at least 1 cup or more of milk. Now, my daughter's gotten a little sensitive to dairy products. So she can do hard cheeses, but things like milk she doesn't do anymore. So I'm just going to add probably about 1 cup of this unsweetened almond milk as my substitute. So I'm just going to pour that in and beat it. And I guess now I need to change my battery, so I'll be back. What I've done in my iron skillet is I've just kind of coated the bottom with vegetable oil. So I'm going to put this in the oven. The oven is preheated. It's already heated up to 425 degrees. So I'm going to pop this in the oven and let it get good and hot. Now what I have here is self-rising cornmeal. White Lily is my favorite brand, and this is a buttermilk cornmeal, and that way it gives it that buttermilk flavor, and I don't have to worry about, you know, the buttermilk, not using buttermilk. Oh, there's my, I knew I got my measuring cup out. So this is a 1 cup, and I'm not really measuring, I'm scooping. And that's not quite 1 cup. So I'm just going to dump that in. And I'm going to get another one here. Again, not quite 1 cup. And dump that in. And I need to go in for some more because I tend to use closer to 2.5 cups. And since neither of those were full, that should be enough. Now, I'm just going to mix this up. And it's probably going to be too thick, and I will just adjust the consistency with the almond milk. So I'm going to get that mixed in real good. And yeah, it's definitely a little too thick, so let me add a little more almond milk and whisk that together. I got the consistency that I need for my cornbread batter. So I'm just gonna let this sit, and I'm gonna put up everything. Leave that out because I still got to make a batch of keto cornbread. And the Instant Pot needs its quick release, so let's do that. Alright, I'm gonna put this up and I'll be back. My iron skillet is still heating up in the oven. My grandmother used to heat it up on top of the stove, but I've got a glass top stove, so I don't do that because I don't want to damage the glass top. So I just heat it in the oven, and I actually do need to get my trivet here so that I have a place to rest my skillet when it comes out. So I'm going to put my skillet here. When it comes out, I'm going to pour in the batter. And y'all, I just keep I keep this that I cut out from the bag of White Lily cornmeal mix, because sometimes I forget, you know. I know the recipe, but as far as things like, you know, what to set my timer for, or the temperature to set my stove for, because I bake so much various stuff that, you know, I keep this mostly for the time and the temperature, but I just store it in the container that I keep my cornmeal in. So I'm going to put that up. This has, the quick release is over, is done, so now I can open this. And so there is part of the soup, part of the pizza soup. So next I'm going to add this chopped pepperoni and put that in there. All of it. Yeah. Another couple little pieces, and I'm just going to stir that in. Stir in the pepperoni. I'm going to set it manually down here to 5 more minutes. I need to keep warm, cancel. I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of water and set it for 5 minutes and seal it up, and then we'll do another quick release. And then really all I have to do at the end of that is add this and let it saute for a few minutes, and this will be ready. It's almost ready now. My iron skillet is hot, very hot, and when you pull something like this out of the oven, the handle is hot too, so to remind yourself that it's very hot, leave a pot holder on it. That will burn you badly. So this gets poured into here, and that's what it's supposed to do, is sizzle like that. So I'm going to get my little scraper and scrape all that out into my pan. It's all in. I'm going to put this in the oven and set my timer for 20 minutes, and I'll look at it and see what it looks like after 20 minutes. Just as quick as I got that cornbread in the oven, this thing went off, so I'm going to do a quick release and stir it around, add this, saute it, just switch over. I'm going to switch over to saute and do it for maybe 5 more minutes, and then this will be done. Alright, so the pizza soup is ready, and the great thing about this is you can make it however you like it. So the base is the Italian sausage, but if somebody didn't like Italian sausage on their pizza, you could just do ground beef instead. And then there's pepperoni in it, and the rest of this stuff is just toppings, so whatever pizza toppings you want. So I've got some mozzarella here, and I've got these little banana peppers, and I've got some of these sliced olives. So I'm gonna go sit down and have my little bowl of soup and wait for my cornbread to come out of the oven. So plenty of time left to eat that soup. The regular pan of cornbread is out. I kind of don't think the pan was hot enough. I like, I mean, it's done, but I like the bottom. This is the bottom, so it's been flipped out of the pan. And of course, we're not eating this as cornbread. Well, I'm not eating it at all, although I'd love to. But it's completely done. But I do like my the bottom, which was on the bottom of the pan, to be a little bit darker than that. So I'm going to let the pan heat up probably a little bit more than this for the keto batch of cornbread. So let me clean this out a little bit. It doesn't take much, because the beauty of an iron skillet is it is like naturally non-stick. So I'm going to clean this up so that I can get it ready for keto. And remember, this is very hot, so this has to go here. I will forget, so I got to do that. Alright, I'm going to let this cool. This is all going to get broken up and put into storage for until Thursday. Alright, I rinsed the skillet out with very hot water, and then I took a little piece of paper towel and dried off the moisture, and dropped a stick of butter in it, and I'm going to put that back in the oven and let it get good and hot. And while that's in the oven, I will mix up my ingredients for the keto version of the cornbread. The butter has melted, and I'm just going to pull out some of this. I need about 3 or 4 tablespoons of this to go into my liquid mixture. All this is 4 eggs. I got about probably 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream, a little splash of water, and I've mixed that together, but I need to add 3 or 4 tablespoons of my butter into here, and I need both hands to do it because this is hot and this has eggs, so I need to whisk as I add it. So let me lay the camera down. Now what I've got in here is a little over 2.5 cups or so of the almond flour, and normally I use pecan meal for the texture, but I can't find it, and I've got it around here somewhere, but you know, I cleaned, so when I clean I can't find it. So I used some of the flaxseed mix, a couple of tablespoons I suppose of that for the texture to give it that cornmeal grit, and then a couple of teaspoons of baking powder and maybe half a teaspoon of salt. So that's what's in here, and I'm just going to whisk this together and add it into here. And again, if it's not wet enough, I'll just add a splash more of cream. So let me get this mixed together. Almost forgot the secret ingredient. This cornbread flavoring. This makes such a difference. I'm probably going to put maybe half a teaspoon in. You see it's by a dropper, so it doesn't take a whole lot, maybe half a teaspoon, and I'm just going to mix that in with my liquids here. And then I'm going to combine everything and get it in the oven. I need to put that back in because it's not going to, if I drop it in now, that's not going to sizzle, and I need it to sizzle to make that crust. Alright, I've got that mixed up. I did have to add a splash more water and a splash more of the heavy cream, but oh, that cornbread seasoning, it was cornbread seasonings. This cornbread flavoring makes it smell just like cornbread. Oh my gosh, y'all, it smells so good, and it's not even cooked yet. I'm going to pour this in my pan when it gets good and hot so that I can get that sizzle on the bottom and get it in the oven in a minute. I got my timer. I have my timer set for 25 minutes. I just got it in the oven. This does take a little bit longer to cook in the oven than the regular cornbread, but that's okay. I'm just gonna clean up my mess because, yeah, I made a mess. Here is my keto cornbread. Just came out of the oven. Very hot. I just gotta clean that again, and I'm going to break it up into pieces like this. See, this is almost completely cooled. I need it to cool so that I can store it away for making cornbread dressing on Thanksgiving Day. So yeah, y'all, it smells so good. It smells just like cornbread. Looks like cornbread. It's a, you know, the texture is just a tad different, but y'all, smells like it, looks like it. I'm good with it. Well, there is my meal prep for tonight. I got my cornbreads made for the cornbread dressings that I'm making for Thanksgiving Day. That pizza soup, yeah, I'm going to have to put that in my rotation, cooking rotation more often, because it is definitely a keto recipe, and it is so good. It is so good. It's just, I've got to remember to make it more often because it's been a while since I've made it. And yeah, but that's going to be it for tonight's meal prep, Thanksgiving prep, and I will see y'all tomorrow because more prepping this week, and it will continue because I want to get as much prepping done for Thanksgiving so that Thanksgiving morning I don't have a whole lot to do. I just basically have to deal with the turkey and just throw everything else in the oven when it's time. But that's going to be it for this video, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.